This is very clear that what we learned from today's chapter are two things. One, he's making us understand that even though this Diamond Sutra has been named as Diamond Sutra, don't hold on to the name and say, this is it. Even though he's saying that this is the main Pragya Paramita Sutra, don't hold on to it as main Pragya Paramita Sutra. At that moment, you should enjoy and understand the meaning of the sutra and practice it. Practicing is more important. Namaste and good morning, everyone. We are back on Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. from India, the city Pune where I live, and in our Shunya meditation studio. So we are here to continue our series on the studying the Diamond Sutra with me. And today we're going to do chapter 13 and 14. Now these are extensive chapters, big chapters, and very, very important chapter. Yes, so we gather to discuss and study the Diamond Sutra. Quickly, let's go. I'm sure everybody by now has got the Sanskrit name of the sutra, the Diamond Sutra. It's called the Vajra Chedika Pragya Paramita Sutra. This one that we are teaching and studying is the Vajra Chedika Pragya Paramita Sutra, as it is translated by our beloved Acharya Nagajiva. Okay, translated to Chinese. Initially this sutra, Diamond Sutra, was translated to Chinese from Sanskrit by Tripitaka Acharya Kumarjiv, and then translated to English from Chinese by Acharya Nagajiva. Very important here is to know that there is no attempt at interpretation or any explanation of the sutra by this translator. Means our Dr. Lim has not tried to give his inputs on it. He has translated the word to word as it is. So we all saw through, and I'm sure people who have not got the link of this and they are watching it for the first time can go and watch the episodes that we have covered before, because we are halfway through the Diamond Sutra. We covered up from the event that was leading to assembly, where I keep on stressing on this first chapter because this chapter is the most important chapter, because it starts with "Thus have I heard." "Thus have I heard" is the direct notation, or you can say the point where when Buddha was teaching, there was somebody taking down notes, and that's what the sutra is all about. So these notes were taken up, and these notes, how do we know that this is an authentic sutra? Is when the sutra starts with "Thus have I heard." Okay, so this particular sutra was in the setting, once upon a time the Buddha was in Shravasti. So Shravasti is a place even today. Okay, and the place there they mentioned is Jetwana Grove, Anantapindika Park. Okay, and with an assembly of 1,250 great monks. Now, you can imagine we are going 2,500 years ago, and we are getting to actually listen, because these words were written down even today. So something that the Buddha spoke at that time, which is relevant even today, is very important, and we will see why. So let's go directly to chapter 13, because today's chapter 13 and 14 are longer chapters, and let's discuss and study these chapters. 13, okay? Naming of the sutra. Now, by now, you all would be wondering, why is this sutra called the Diamond Sutra? Why is it called Vajra Chedika Pragya Paramita Sutra? So, Dr. Lim has named this chapter as naming of the sutra. So, Subhuti then asked the Buddha, Bhagavan, what should we call this sutra and how should we practice it? Very clear here. Subhuti is asking the Buddha a direct question. He's asking, Bhagavan, what should we call this sutra? So that means they were very clear that Buddha is teaching a sutra, and that is why he wants to know, what do you call this? What do you define this as? And how should we practice it? Because he's teaching you something, but at the end, every teaching, everything that he's giving you, if it is not brought to practice, it is useless. So he's asking again two questions. What should you name the sutra, and how should you practice it? The Buddha said to Subhuti, this sutra should be called the Diamond Pragya Paramita, means Vajra Pragya Paramita Sutra. You should memorize this name. Again, he's telling him. He's now giving the whole teaching a concise name. And he's saying this should be called as the Diamond Pragya Paramita. Diamond means Vajra. Vajra means the hardest of all the elements in this world. It can shatter down, break down everything else, but it doesn't get broken. And this sutra, Vajra, Chediga, Pragya Paramita Sutra, means this one is you can say the diamond cutter, the sutra that is going to cut through all the illusions. Okay? So Vajra is a very powerful weapon. Pragya means the highest wisdom, the wisdom that one acquires through experiences of life. When he sees life as it is, he's going to get an experience as it is. If he's going to see life as it is not, he's going to get an experience as it is not. So if he sees life as an illusion, all the experiences that he's got in life is illusion. If he sees the life as a reality, all the experience he gets in life is reality. So Buddha has already given this name to the sutra, that it's called the Diamond Pragya Paramita Sutra. Pragya, wisdom. Paramita means the highest. Param. Param means nothing beyond it. So we should understand this sutra is the highest of the wisdom that can be acquired and understood. Okay? You should memorize this name. Again, he's telling you, you should memorize this name. Now here, why is he telling you this? Because I'm sure that is not only one sutra that Buddha taught. So there are many sutras that he taught. And if you have to have some understanding of what this sutra contains, you need to know the name of the sutra so that you understand the reference where this is going. Because nothing is fixed. Maybe he's teaching another sutra, he might just refer to this sutra and the teachings in this sutra. Okay? So you need to memorize the name. Vajra Chedika Pragya Paramita Sutra. Why is this so? He's saying, why is this so? The Pragya Paramita taught by Buddha is not the Pragya Paramita. Now here comes the bouncer. He's saying that the Pragya Paramita, the highest wisdom that I'm teaching you, because this sutra, he is telling that this sutra is the Vajra, Pragya Paramita Sutra, means the highest. And then he's saying you should memorize the name. Why? Why is this so? Because the Pragya Paramita that Buddha is teaching is not the Pragya Paramita. It is based on that situation. At that very moment, it was the highest teaching. Maybe at another moment, there will be another higher teaching. So Pragya Paramita is always depending on the condition, on the state. Okay? Subhuti, what does this mean? Now again, because he's given a statement, first he's saying that it is the highest teaching. Then he's saying that this highest teaching that I am teaching is not the highest teaching. What does this mean? Does the Tathagata teach anything? Now again, he's telling, is the Tathagata teaching anything? Subhuti said to the Buddha, Bhagavan, the Tathagata has nothing to teach. Very, very clear. Subhuti is intelligent. Subhuti understands. He's saying, Bhagavan, the Tathagata has nothing to teach. Because if he has something to teach, means he has a fixed idea and concept. And if he has a fixed idea and concept, that fixed idea and concept cannot be applied to this ever-changing world. Ever-changing dynamic world cannot be seen with a static point of view. Subhuti, what do you think? Remember, in this sutra, it was Subhuti, he said, how do I focus the mind and how to control the thoughts? And he's keeping on asking Subhuti, what do you think? What do you think? Okay? Subhuti, what do you think? If the three sahasra, mahasahasra, log dhatu are crushed into dust, are the dust particles great in number? Again. So before Subhuti makes a concept in his mind, so Buddha is confirming with him. If the three sahasra, mahasahasra, log dhatu means the whole universe, existence system that has manifested into material world, If all that has been crushed into dust and the dust particles, would that number be great? Of course. Subhuti said, extremely great, Bhagwan. It would be great, extremely great. Subhuti, the Tathagata says, those particles of dust are not dust. Now, again, he is referring. First, he said that if the Trisahasra Mahasahasra Lokadhatu is actually crushed, then the dust particles, are they great? Subhuti says, extremely great. Then again, Buddha says, the Tathagata says those particles of dust are not dust. First he calls them dust, then he says they are not dust. Just by name, they are called as dust. Only by name he is calling it dust. So don't have a fixed idea about it. Because you name something doesn't mean that is going to be ever so all the time. It is contextual, it is referential, it is based on that particular situation. The Tathagata says words are not words. First he says there are so many words, but then he says they are not words, because if you again fix it, then it is gone. Just by name they are called as words. Because I have to talk to somebody, I have to exchange my thoughts, I use words to exchange them. And because of that, I have to name something. So this sutra, first, now because Subhuti asked what should this sutra be named? So Buddha said it should be named as the Diamond Prajnaparamita Sutra. Now again, first Buddha is saying, you cannot name anything, but then he has to name it because Subhuti is asking. Then he's saying you should memorize this name. On the other side, he is also saying the Prajnaparamita taught by Buddha is not the Prajnaparamita. So it means only for a reference point you use a name. You don't fix yourself to that. Subhuti, what do you think? Can the Tathagata be seen by his 32 bodily signs? Now, second question. Because in those days, you had to identify people with, their bodily signs. So there were 32 bodily signs that, people identified somebody. And Buddha was identified by 32 bodily signs, like long ears and all facial and bodily structure, all qualities. Right? So today, you can see that even today we use technology to identify several features of people, to identify this person is this, based on his bodily signs. So similarly, Subhuti, what do you think? Can the Tathagata be seen by his 32 bodily signs? If somebody gives you 32 bodily signs and says this is the structure and the picture of the Tathagata, can you observe the Tathagata by the 32 bodily signs? Subhuti is again answering, no Bhagwan, one cannot see the Tathagata by the means of his 32 bodily signs. You cannot see the Tathagata by his physical characteristics. Okay? Why is this so? Because the 32 bodily signs taught by the Tathagata are no signs. Because all the 32 bodily signs that the Tathagata has taught are no signs. Just by name, they are called as signs. So again, everybody is getting themselves cleared. Buddha is clearing himself that only, even though I say that you crush all the universe into dust, okay? Are the dust now, the dust greater in number? Subhuti says yes. But Buddha again clarifies, only for the namesake I am calling them dust. There is no dust, okay? He says, yeah, I know this. Then Buddha is again asking, Subhuti, the 32 bodily signs, can anyone see the Tathagata by 32 bodily signs? Subhuti says, no, he cannot be seen by 32 bodily signs. Why? Because only by name they are called as 32 bodily signs. So both are clearing themselves very clearly. Subhuti, if on the one hand, a virtuous man or a virtuous woman sacrifices their life as numerous times as the sands in the Ganges river for the welfare of others, and on the other hand, there is another person who memorizes as few as 4 lines of the verse of this sutra and teaches it to the others, the merit received by him is greater than the former. Now there is a comparison coming. The importance of the sutra. What is he saying? First, if a virtuous man or a virtuous woman, okay, technically a bodhisattva, sacrifices their life as numerous times, means they are ready to sacrifice their life, okay, for the welfare of others. How much time they can sacrifice their life? As much as there are grains of sand in the Ganges river. The Ganga river, on the bed of the river, there are sand grains. If these grains are, you can see, you cannot count them, they are extreme. If somebody is ready to sacrifice his life as much as the grains of the Ganges river, one has to understand that that merit that they acquire, the good merit that you acquire by sacrificing your life as number of times as the grains in the Ganges river, in comparison to memorizing and teaching 4 verses of this sutra, the merits you receive are higher here. Now this you have to understand, merits of 2 times. One we call is punya in Sanskrit, or in Hindi we call all the good deeds that you do, you acquire merits. These are 2. One is celestial merit and one is the supreme merit. Okay, one that gives you, that's meant for your higher realization. The other one is for materialization. So when you give something material, you definitely acquire something material. But when you give something non-material, you acquire something non-material. So here, when you give your body, you give everything. Yet the merit that you acquire by teaching even 4 sutras or memorizing it yourself and understanding it, the merit is higher compared to all the material, merit. So this shows how important it is to realize something, and after you realize something, to teach that to somebody. Because nothing more in this world is then becoming a teacher to teach somebody something, because you might go away, that person might go away, but what remains is the teaching. And if you can survive through teaching, then nothing more. That is why in Indian culture, a guru, the one who takes you out of darkness through his light of wisdom, knowledge, is considered as the greatest. He is highest than anybody else. So we revere the guru, we revere the teacher, and that's what we see the Buddha as one of our teacher, and we revere him as a teacher. Okay. Now, so that it is very clear. First he named the sutra, as the Diamond Paramita Sutra. Then he clarified again in the same sutra that it is only for the name that I am naming it. Okay, don't get fixed to that name also. Okay, because what is more important is to understand that you cannot have a fixed thing about anything, It is contextual, it is based on something. But the Paramita that is taught in this is the highest, it's the highest wisdom. But on the other side, it's not limited to only this sutra. Then don't get fixed to this sutra and don't study any other sutra. You have to understand it is contextual, it is referential. Okay, and the virtue and the value and the merits you acquire by teaching 4 verses, by memorizing it yourself first and then teaching 4 verses to somebody else, you acquire much more merits, much more supreme merits than all the celestial merits that you can acquire. Okay, so very, very important. Now let's go to the next chapter. Okay, anybody having any questions at this point can definitely ask, because a lot of people still believe what is Pragya Paramita, Vajrachedika Pragya Paramita Sutra. And because this is the world's first printed book, remember this. It was one of the books that was used by everybody who traded. Because of the wisdom within this book, they could connect with everybody. This wisdom shatters all the kind of illusions of your mind and brings you to the point of reality. And once you see reality as it is, you're able to live in that ultimate bliss, the state of, a state where there is no more suffering because of ignorance. Okay, but there is a bliss and happiness because you know it all. Okay, very, very important. So if any questions come up in your mind, you should definitely ask. Let's go to chapter 14. It says, free from all signs. Okay. First, we finished names. Okay. Now we are going on science. Free from all science. What does that mean? Let's understand the chapter. Why is it named so by Acharya Nagajiva? After Subhuti heard this sermon and understood it deeply, he was moved to tears. Subhuti was the one who initiated the question. Subhuti was the one who asked this question to Buddha. And Buddha started teaching. This teaching turned into becoming a sermon, a sutra itself. From that sutra, Subhuti understood what Buddha meant. How can one focus the mind and control the thoughts? Okay. After hearing this sermon and understanding it deeply, he was moved to tears. Automatically, tears rolling down Subhuti's eyes. When in life, when we have realization, when we see life, sometimes we see everything. When we realize it, automatically our eyes start watering. It's not sadness, it's not happiness, it's just realization. The tears of realization. Oh, it was this. All my life I've been thinking this, and my tears start just coming out. So tears are of different types. Sometimes sorrow, suffering causes our eyes to tear. Sometimes happiness. You see your child achieve something and you're so happy that your eyes start tearing. Sometimes, only with realization that you have realized, you have a smile on your face and your eyes start trickling down tears. So tears also have very meaningful expression when they come out. Okay, so always see the expression with which the tears come up. He was moved to tears and said to the Buddha, how rare it is, Bhagwan, that you have taught this profound sutra. Since the time I attained the eye of wisdom, I have never heard this sort of teaching. He's claiming that from the time I got the eye of wisdom, the Vipassana eye, which can see things clearly, he had never heard such a teaching. And he knows this sutra is a profound sutra. Bhagavan, if someone hears this sutra and has pure faith in it, he or she will see the true signs of things. Now, he's giving what he has realized. He's saying, Bhagavan, if someone hears this sutra and has pure faith in it, without any doubt, has pure faith in it, he or she will see the true signs of things. Means at that time all illusion is gone. All Maya is gone. He will be able to see things as it is. Okay, he will see the real state of things. That means truth and realization. Okay, and experience bliss. We call this Satchit Anand, a state where he will see everything as reality. Okay, we should also know. Now he's telling, if somebody hears this sutra, has faith in it, he will see things very clearly. But we should also know that this person will obtain the rarest kind of merit. Such a person will get something which never anybody else has got. He will get the rarest kind of merit. Bhagwan, these true signs are actually not signs. Because, Bhagwan, these true signs that he will see are actually no signs. Because there cannot be a sign. Once there is a sign, there is something that is coming up. And once something comes up, it has to go away. So everything that will manifest will someday destroy. Everything that will come into existence will someday go away. Okay, born will die. Birth and death are inherently connected with each other. Just by the name, the Tathagata calls them true signs. But just by name, the Tathagata is calling these as true signs. What? Once the person hears this sutra, has faith in it, he will see the true signs of things. But these true signs are not signs. Just by name, the Tathagata calls them as true signs. So even Satchit Anand state, if you have to see, there is nothing truth. There is nothing, kind of an awareness. There's nothing called as bliss. You cannot have separate feelings. Only these signs are separated because only for the namesake they are separate. You cannot explain the unexplainable. Okay, so he's making it very clear. Bhagavan, having heard of this sutra, I have no difficulty in putting my faith and grasp it. So he is making himself clear. He's saying, after hearing this sutra, I have no difficulty. I mean, I have no problem in putting my faith. Means I have no more doubt on it and grasping it and taking it. Okay. If during the last 500 years, now he's saying, if during the last 500 years, before, because even this earth existence is born, one day it will destroy. Even earth is someday going to be destroyed. If we are born, we are destroyed. So everything that comes into manifestation has to go back. So he's saying that before the destruction of this world, just 500 years before, if during the last 500 years, whosoever hears this sutra and has faith in it, see the confidence they have that this sutra will last till the end of time. Okay, and they're saying even after just 500 years before the everything gets destroyed, we call that pralay. Alay means to born, pralay means everything destroyed. Okay, and in between this, if everything has to remain, is called lay. Okay, so lay means to have balance. So alay and pralay. Before the pralaya happens, 500 years before that, sutra still exists. They are very confident. If by chance somebody hears this sutra, okay, and has faith in it, understands it, okay, first has to have faith in it, second understands it and grasps it, then this person will be most rare. Very rarely this will be possible that just before the pralaya happens, somebody is able to hear this sutra, understand it, has faith in it and grasps it. This person will be very, very rare. Why is this so? Because in Kali Yuga, to find somebody to even understand this sutra and to grasp it is going to be very, very rare. Okay, Kali Yuga is the last phase. We are heading towards pralaya. Why is this so? The person will not attach to self. The person who's going to understand this sutra, grasp it, have faith in it, okay, such a person will not attach to self, people, beings or existence. Why is this so? Because the sign of self is not a sign. He will understand. He will never attach himself as self, okay, then as people. He will never have differentiation, beings or existence. He will not see even existence as separate from non-existence. He knows that everything is just there because it is manifested. He will not see themselves as separate. He knows they are all made of the same material. Okay. So, why is this so? Because the sign of self is not a sign. He will know that the sign that I realize I am self is not a sign. It is just a feeling, a kind of a thing that comes for the, because every manifestation comes with its own sign and name, you know. The sign of people, of beings, of existence are not signs, are also not signs. So he also sees that all the signs that he sees are not signs. They are only seen as signs. Why is this so? Those who are free from all signs are called Buddhas. Those who are free from all signs, you cannot see, they themselves don't see themselves as signs. They don't see others as signs. They don't see anybody separate from anybody else. They see all as one, everything as one, every manifestation as non-manifestation. Such people, okay, are free of all signs and they are called the Buddhas. Okay, so he is defined Voha Buddhas. Buddhas are free of all signs. Buddha, the Buddha said to Subhuti, yes, you are right. So Buddha is confirming with Subhuti. Now, Buddha can confirm this because Buddha is Buddha. He is free of all signs. Even though he describes himself with 32 bodily signs, you cannot see the Buddha with those signs. Okay? The Buddha said to Subhuti, yes, you are right. You should know that if someone hears this sutra and is not shocked, scared or alarmed, this person is extremely rare. Now see, when we teach this sutra or you study this sutra, you are shocked. You are scared, you know, oh, what kind of teaching is this? Okay. Or alarmed. Hey, I don't understand. What is this? You know, Buddha is confirming with Subhuti, yes, if someone hears this sutra and is not shocked, scared or alarmed, such a person is rare. You'll very rarely find somebody who will not be scared or not be shocked or not be alarmed by this sutra. Why is this so? Subhuti, what the Tathagata calls the main Pragya Paramita, is not the main Pragya Paramita. Means, confirm me again, what he is calling as this is the main Pragya Paramita is not a main Pragya Paramita. Just by name it is called as main Pragya Paramita. Very, very important. Everything has been named based on the situation and the circumstances. Do not hold on to that. If somebody, see, very, very important, how do I apply this in my life? Okay, somebody has an issue with you and blames you for something or names you for something. It is based on the situation, on the circumstances. If you hold on to it, hey, he called me this, he said me this, his words were like that. No. It was based on that time, on that circumstance, on that situation. Once that situation is over, that name, that tagging, everything is gone. Maybe he gave you some bad words. That was for that time. When there were good times, maybe he will give you praising words. Don't hold in for that. Don't tag him for that. So, very, very important, name is something that you tag along, you speak only for your expression of that very moment. Don't keep it as one thing that you hold on to all your life. Very, very important. So, when Buddha is teaching and saying this is the main Pragya Paramita Sutra, so that means it is main for that particular moment, that particular time, and in reference to this sutra. But doesn't mean the other Pragya Paramita Sutras are not main. They are contextually main in their own reference. And so everything is relative. Remember this. And if you can understand this, then you live life based on the time and circumstances. You live life in the now. You don't live in the past or you don't live in the future. You don't work based on your past thinking or your future thinking. You work based on your current situation, on your current circumstances. Because I was a king and my kingdom is lost, and today I need to earn a living. If I have to work like a laborer, I will forget that I was a king. Today I am a laborer, work like a laborer. When I become a laborer, and I'm working as a laborer, but because of my hard work I become a king. I live like a king because I have become a king. I don't live like a laborer at that moment. You have to understand this. In life, we will progress in different situations. When we are kids, we'll be a kid. When we are children, we live like children, right? When parents bring us as children, we make sure that we are the best of the children. People will see that, oh, what a beautiful child, what a well-mannered child this is. When you become an adult, be a very good adult because now you interact with this society. Okay, a child is dependent on the parents, an adult is dependent on the society. So be a good adult. The society should say, wow, what a good adult this person is. What a nice, decent boy this is. Definitely the upbringing of the parents is good. When you become a father, mother yourself, be a good father, mother, that the child should say, wow, my father, mother is so good, he is the best. I need to learn from him. Every time you should become the best version of yourself at that very moment. And that is what this sutra is telling. At every moment, you can be the best version, the paramita of yourself. And when Buddha is teaching this, he's calling this is the main Pragya Paramita. Because at that moment, it is the main. Maybe at another time, another sutra will become the main Pragya Paramita Sutra. Okay? So very important. Subhuti. The forbearance paramita that I teach is not the forbearance paramita. He's making it very clearly. Don't hold on to it. Just take it reference here. Okay? The forbearance paramita that I teach is not forbearance paramita. Why is this so? Subhuti. In a former lifetime, he's giving his example because the Buddha knows all his lifetimes, previous lifetimes. Okay? Otherwise, how can you call yourself a Buddha? Okay? Like, if I am the father, I need to know from the time my child is born that this is my child, and I can call that child, that I am the father of this child. But if I forget that about who I am yesterday, and my child comes, I will not even call myself a father. So your past lives, your future lives, if you can see all that, you're already a Buddha. So Buddha can see the past, the future, lives in the present. Okay? So he's saying, Subhuti, in a former lifetime, my body was cut into pieces by Kalinga. So he's talking about how much he has forbeared, how much he had, what we say, endured. And he's saying in the previous lifetime, when my body was cut into pieces by King Kalinga, at that time, I was not attached to self, people, beings, or existence. So he's making it very clear. At that time, he was not attached to self, people, beings, or existence. Why is this so? If at that time my body was being cut into pieces, I was attached to self, people, beings, or existence, I would have felt hatred towards Kalinga. Yeah, naturally, if somebody is cutting my body, torturing me, if I'm attached to myself, he is another people, what is this existence? Then I would have hatred towards King Kalinga. Subhuti, I also remember that in the past, during my former 500 lifetimes, I practiced forbearance as an immortal. At that time, I was detached from self, people, beings, or existence. So you should imagine, even after this whole torture of self, okay, people, existence, and everything, he is not blaming anybody because he doesn't see anybody separate. Therefore, Subhuti, the bodhisattvas should distance themselves from all forms and arouse the aspiration for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Now he is telling, so how should a bodhisattva behave? He should behave like a person who is not aroused by the thought that everything is separate. He should see all as one. He should see everything is nothing but one. So should distance themselves from all forms and arouse the aspiration. Then the aspiration, the bodhicitta that we say, should come that I want to achieve the highest state, Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. They should not arouse the mind while attaching to form, attaching to sound, odor, taste, touch, or thought. Okay, he's making it very. So when you arouse the mind, okay, you should not arouse the mind based on the five senses or on the thought. Very clear. See, if you remember Jesus Christ, when he was put on the cross, the only thing he said, forgive them, they don't know what they are doing. He did not have hatred for the people who were nailing him down on the cross. He did not have any kind of hatred towards them because he never saw them separate. He knew that the one who are nailing him down, the one who are crying, all are one and the same. So he said, I have no problem with that. In life, if you understand forgiveness and you understand the importance of forgiveness and have no hatred towards anybody, the only thing that you will have in you is love. And isn't that the most amazing feeling? If you have a feeling always of love within you, love transpires you from all the suffering. Okay? The only element that stops that is hatred, envy. Why hatred and envy? Because you see somebody as different. You see somebody as a separate person. You see existence as something that has come and it will go. You fear that. But if you go through beyond all that, the bodhisattva who is able to see that is already on the state of achieving Buddhahood. Okay? Then how should you arouse the mind? They should arouse the mind so that it attaches to nothing. Very clear. How should they arouse the mind? A mind that is not attached to anything. If the mind attaches to something, then it is not real focus. If the mind attaches to something, then there is no focus. When I'm looking at this, if I think about something, then I'm not focusing on this because my eyes are focusing my everything. But my thought is somewhere else. So my thought is taking me somewhere else. My eyes are here. I'm not in focus. Everything, my mind should not attach to anything. Then only I can focus. So remember now he's answering Subhuti's question. How to focus the mind is to arouse the mind to attach to nothing. Okay. Therefore, I say that the mind of the bodhisattvas should not attach to the form while giving alms. So when even you're giving alms, you should not attach to any kind of form, the bodhisattvas. Subhuti, to benefit all beings, a bodhisattva should practice giving alms in this understanding. The Tathagata teaches that all forms are not forms. He also teaches that all beings are not beings. Do not have fixed ideas and concept. I am a Hindu. I will only support and help the Hindu. I am a Muslim. I will only support and help the Muslim. This cannot be the way of teaching of the Tathagata. I am a man, I will support a man. I am a woman, I will support the woman. All this discrimination on basis of gender, religion, basically I am a human being, I will only support a human being, not an animal. Let the dog die there. No, no discrimination between beings, self beings, even existence. Because, oh, I don't care, I need to be happy. If my existence around is destroyed, I don't care. No worry about the nature is also not right, because you are in the nature, you need to take care of nature also. Okay, and you see, when somebody is not attached to forms, is not attached to being, is not attached to self, not attached to existence, okay, and sees things as it is, he is basically, arousing the mind that attaches to nothing. Subhuti, my words are true. Now again, Buddha is confirming. Subhuti, because suddenly you think that he's saying one, then he's saying this is not the one, then he's saying no, when this is not the one, this is the one. You think, what is he saying? He's keeping on changing, what a person is. Sometimes he says this, sometimes he says that. You don't understand, because it is based on situation, circumstances. Okay, Subhuti, my words are true. He's confirming. They are real. They are as it is. There is no lie and no dissenting. Okay, now dissenting means I don't hold on to or want to object somebody's view. I don't intend to do that. I don't want to say that his point of view is wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying my view. I'm giving my words. They are true, they are real, and they are as it is. There is no lie in it. Subhuti, the dharma that I have attained is neither true nor false. He's telling it very clear that the understanding, the dharma that he has attained is neutral. It is neither true nor false. Subhuti, if a bodhisattva practices giving alms, being attached to dharma, it is like a person in darkness who cannot see anything. Okay, excuse me. Subhuti, if a bodhisattva practices giving alms, being attached to dharma, once he has a concept again of dharma, you can say Buddha said, my dharma is neither true nor false, because there is nothing in it. Absolutely empty. Okay, no fixed idea, no fixed concept. Because once you have something fixed, you will assume that to be true and everything else to be false. So he's saying, no, nothing is fixed with me. It is like, he's saying, if somebody is attached to dharma and giving alms, oh, I listen to the Buddha. Buddha said, yeah, giving alms is good. By giving alms, you'll acquire merits, and these merits will help you to be a good person in your life. If you attach to that and you give your alms like that, he's saying it is like a person in darkness who cannot see anything. It is like a person who is blind in darkness, who is not able to see anything. If a bodhisattva practice is giving alms, not being attached to the dharma. So, if a bodhisattva is practicing giving alms, not being attached to dharma, it is like a person with eyes wide open in the sunlight, seeing all kinds of forms and colors. See, once you're not attached to anything, when you give and do your duty, and because your duty is to give, right? So you give your time, you give your skills, you give everything. So maybe business, maybe job, maybe even your responsibility is all about giving. So when you do your job of giving, when you're not attached to anything, he's saying even not even attached to the dharma that Buddha said this way, giving alms, without being attached, then it is like a person, seeing clearly in broad sunlight with eyes wide open, okay, then he can see all the forms and colors, and he can see the beauty of life. Subhuti, if in future a virtuous man or a virtuous woman who memorizes this sutra and recites it, then with my wisdom, I shall fully be aware and see that this person attains countless and limitless merits. Now here is the promise of the Buddha. Buddha is saying, Subhuti, in future, if a virtuous man, first virtuous man or a woman is one who follows the Panchashil. So one who is going to be a good person, following the Panchashil, okay, he memorizes this sutra and recites it, okay, recite is to teach somebody. Then with my wisdom, Buddha is now assuring, with my wisdom, I shall be fully aware and see that this person attains countless and limitless merits. He'll make sure that this person will achieve so much merit, you cannot count them. It will be limitless. It's like I always say, when you take the number 0, and you turn it like this, squeeze it, you get the sign of infinity. It's 0 and infinity are same. It's just a twist, okay, of existence. So similarly, he's assuring that. Now, this is very clear that what we learned from today's chapter are two things. One, he's making us understand that even though this Diamond Sutra has been named as Diamond Sutra, don't hold on to the name and say, this is it. Even though he's saying that this is the main Pragya Paramita Sutra, don't hold on to it as main Pragya Paramita Sutra. At that moment, you should enjoy and understand the meaning of the sutra and practice it. Practicing is more important. So, how does he teach? He teaches us through a sutra, but he also tells us how to practice this. How do you practice this sutra? By arousing a mind that is not attached to anything. Once you are able to do that, once you are not able to discriminate, once you are not able to differentiate, you achieve the highest realization. That is the state of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. And such a person, the Buddha promises that if somebody achieves that state, he promises for such a person limitless, okay, and countless merits, so much punya that you will achieve the purest of purest state of your body, mind, and your own realization. And that state, which we call as Sat Chit Anand, the state of ultimate bliss, the ultimate statehood of Buddhahood, where there is no more suffering. And everybody can experience this in this lifetime. If you understand, do not differentiate. Do not differentiate between even your past and your present. My child was, a 10-year-old, how cute he was, how lovely he was, how loving he was, how respectful he was. He was always sitting on my lap. Now my child has become 25-year-old. Now he's not doing that. He's not being with me. He's not sitting on my lap. No, things have changed. You have to understand this. Life keeps on changing. If you see your child small in your hands, today you see him out in the society, you should be happy in both states. And you should say, wow, my child is grown up and I'm happy at this state. Yesterday he was there with me 24/7. Today he's there. Once in a year he comes to meet me. But yet I like him, I love him, I am happy for this state of change that has been brought. Once you realize this, there is no more sorrow, there is no more suffering. Same with your job. Yesterday there was a good business. Today it is not. Don't let go. Maybe tomorrow there will be good times again. Things change every time. Just because yesterday it was raining, you don't carry an umbrella today. Maybe today is a sunshine. Maybe today it is bright. Maybe today things are much different. Today it is hot and today it is, sweaty out there. Don't worry. Tomorrow there will be winter again. You'll need the warm clothes again. You need to know that everything changes around. And if you can accommodate and occupy yourself with these changes, you will see the beauty of this ever-changing world. You can see the different colors, the essence of your senses experiencing something always changing is beautiful. That is why we need sense organs. Otherwise, if no sense organs, you will feel everything is dull and boring because everything will be same. Do you want everything to be same? No. Do you want the food to be bland, no taste, only sweet, sweet, sweet? Imagine your dish. You like sweet. So morning sweet, afternoon sweet, evening sweet, no other taste. You will not like it. Even your favorite thing, if it comes every day, you don't like it because that's not what you want. You want change. You want to enjoy the sweetness after something that was bitter. You want to enjoy happiness after something that was sorrowful. And that state does come. And that's what Buddha is teaching us here. If you understand this, and keep no hatred for all the bad things that have happened, and not attached to good things that this is what I want. See things as it is. Experience life as it is. When you are young, be a young man, a good young man. When you are old, be a good young old man. I always say young old man because you can carry your youth in old also. You should appreciate the gray hair. Oh wow, how many people can see all their hair turning white? Very few people in life today can see all their hair turning white, because maybe there is no hair left in their head, or maybe they not lived that long till the age where they can see all their hair turning white. So you don't need to cover up everything. Appreciate every stage of your life as it is. And that's what Buddha taught us in these 2 chapters. And you should understand this is the highest wisdom, okay, that you can acquire from the Diamond Sutra. Once you acquire this, there is no more suffering. All the illusions of suffering are just crushed. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the chapter 13 and 14 today. Okay, until then, thank you so much. See you. Bye bye. Namaste.